the traditional view of that character. They gave you old school Cap before they gave you Steve Ditko's, Cap from the 70s. They were like, we'll bring you in and influence speed you, so that by the time we get to the heavier stuff, there's something there. They didn't do that with Harley. They gave you Harley full blast. Because they gave you Harley full blast, there were people like, that's not my Harley. My Harley don't look like that. And at that point, you just lose, you start losing your audience.
So at this point, we are recording. and Armand is actually just kind of giving us a history of Harley Quinn, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yeah. And most of all, I just want to tell everyone out there, welcome to Pop Culture Uncovered, number 84. I'm Aitch. Yeah. Yeah, we got a little ways to go. We probably going to hit 100 before this year's over.
Oh, wow.
Nice. I'm Harry.
Yeah, I'm him.
That's Armand. Yeah.
MG.
KK.
See, they like using these stripper names and whatnot. and Devin's on screen somewhere. Say hey.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. So, as usual, we are doing our thing down at Fantom Comics this week. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's already like mid-August. And the Olympics. Anybody watching the Olympics?
No.
Nah.
I have a life.
Yes.
No, I mean that. Like, it comes on too late. Like, I have to get up and go to work.
Yeah.
No.
I saw that poor dude I saw that dude break his leg on that on that landing.
Ooh.
Yeah. You were probably looking for that. Like, look, somebody else is
Those are the items you want to see.
I mean, but that's the trick of the Olympics. I mean, people who haven't watched gymnastics in 20 years watch to see one person who worked their heart and soul out slip and be able to laugh at them. I mean, that's...
No, I wasn't laughing at them.
No, you weren't. I'm not saying you because you're a compassionate human being. But the rest of humanity sits and waits for the NASCAR like car crash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's true.
But no, I hadn't been following it intensely.
That's because you're Canadian and they're gonna do nothing.
No, they did just beat America in like men's volleyball.
Well, that's great because the last time the Canadians beat us, it was this guy called Ben Johnson. There's a great 30 for 30 documentary on it. It's called 9.79.
Oh, wow.
They were juicing mighty hard back in the day.
And he had the juice to do it,
right?
Yeah, the juice, All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to start this off. We're actually going to talk about some gaming stuff going on. And believe it or not, the first thing I actually do want to touch on is it's been a month. Pokemon Go has been around for a month. It's had some ups. It's had plenty of downs, but I think it's probably gotten more ups than downs. And I think the question, a fair question is, stop it. I think a fair question is whether or not people are still on board with Pokemon Go. Now, speaking for myself, I slacked off.
That's not hard.
It really isn't.
Your first 6 hours was like,
ooh,
it was like the World of Warcraft meets methamphetamines meets Las Vegas.
Like, I gotta. God dang it, another Rattata. God damn it. Rat-a-tat. Same difference. Another Zubat, another Pidgey.
You weren't able to sit for 60 continuous seconds and not ask somebody to move or pretend that a mythological creature was about to eat them.
Oh, no.
You asked every friend you had to pose in some odd way.
Oh, that was fun. That part was fun. That part was very fun. And now it's just... Well, you know what? I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that, they have done like a lot of action. They fixed some things, they broke some things, they fixed some of the things that they broke. And I think where it is now, it's like people are still on board, but there's still a lot more things that people want. And I think one of the biggest things that it still needs that people really want in order for people to still stay on board. People want the ability to play against each other and trade.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to think what MMO, because this is probably the closest thing to a mobile MMO of its type that you're going to get, of its type. where you don't let people play against other people, because this is the closest thing that people are actually going to get, short of actually going out and taking balls and throwing at each other to play Pokemon.
That's next time.
Yeah, that's
I
coming
can see that coming.
soon, I hope. But I mean, I know for myself, I slacked off a bit, but I still see people playing. Good example was this weekend. I took my nephews to the zoo, and they're still in. Matter of fact, they're still early on because one of them started off at level 3, finished off the day at 6. One was at 7. He made his way to 10.
Oh, wow.
So I know the little ones are still on. But when we got over to the Elephant House at one point at the Washington, D.C. Zoo, they were like a whole group of, like, I think college-age guys and girls. They were in. Hey, man, what you catch? No, don't do that, man. Look. It was like 8 of them. And we stood back, we just watched. Like, the elephants were over here, the elephants are doing their thing, and these guys were like, maybe we should put them in the zoo and have them.
Harry, all I have to tell you is I think this might go down as the most transformative game that has come out in a long time. Because I have never before seen, I think it was in New York, there was like a piece of guidance that came out from the Department of Parole and Corrections that said you could not be a registered sex offender and play Pokemon Go.
Yes.
And I can't think of any other game where people had to legitimately think and say, well, certain categories of people just can't play because the likelihood, right. So
because the likelihood of them being taken into areas where there were kids.
Okay.
So
dropping lures.
Yeah.
Saying,
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
You know they're gonna try.
I got the Pikachu.
Right.
So between the people, so between the people who discovered the dead body, the unfortunate people who fell off the cliff, the
People almost getting hit by cars, which I've seen.
right. So it's like I can't think of any other game. Nothing since Dungeons and Dragons has created this much controversy, because Dungeons and Dragons was responsible for the fact that the whole generation was going to
Devil worship.
Right. Besides that, this has got to be because the 700 Club had that on every morning. It's like, the 20-sided die are not your friend; they condemn in your soul. So besides that, this has got to be it. How long this lasts?
How long it lasts really depends on the further updates that they put into
They
the
have
game.
to keep people's attention.
Yeah.
It's I mean, in 2016, you're competing for everybody's attention span. I mean, it may be 5 seconds, it may be 10 seconds, but you have to be the latest, greatest.
Yeah.
And with more and more things coming out, competing for people's attention, I mean, how are they going to stay fresh? That's my only thing.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I honestly don't know how many creatures are out there, but they're gonna. From what I've been hearing, they're going to add more. They're going to add more creatures to the game.
Okay.
They're going to eventually add trading.
Okay.
Hopefully they do it soon. And then, like I said, they're going to allow battles. So I'm sure, hopefully they've taken the template out there and say, okay, well, look, we're going to add more. We got a plan for stuff that we're going to add to the game as we go. So
I've seen a Pokemon made of trash. So I feel like there's always so many ideas you could possibly have left.
So we gonna be fighting.
Well, I mean, that's true. We'll see what happens. I mean, made out of trash. That's funny. We'll see.
No, I'm like this. I never thought Magic the Gathering was going to last as long as it has.
I'm still surprised whenever I see Magic the Gathering.
At all.
So, I mean, I think it's like everything else. I think if you develop a loyal fan base and you find a niche, your business model doesn't need to support the entire world participating. If you can retain 30% of your original users, you've got something stable enough to keep going for a long time. I mean, I continue to be stunned by the number of announcements we hear about old MMOs from the mid-2000s whose servers are finally being shut down because some fan community rose up, and it's like they've been throwing patches on it and playing it since 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
So,
but what's funny? Now come back to this stuff. What you were saying about Magic the Gathering. I mean, we got to think Pokemon itself hasn't been around as long, but it's even the card game.
Yeah.
Still has been around since like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
So that's been around. They keep finding ways to change it, bringing in new creatures, things of that sort. So this is just an evolution. What was funny was actually one of the memes that came out. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
We're talking about Pokemon. Why not?
Even one of the memes that came out show you like, okay, well, we're gonna make it more. We're gonna put it into a handheld game. Then we're going to put it here. Then we're going to put it a week. Now we finally get you up out of your house and off your arse and going out to play again.
Yeah.
So somebody knew they were doing like, look, we can still find a way to make some money off of it.
Yes, if only it was Nintendo.
That is true, because they're not making a dime. It's all going into Niantic's pocket.
There you go.
Well, that happened.
So let me just kind of ask, because I know we talked about it on the podcast from this weekend.
Right.
But I'm assuming you saw Suicide Squad. Did you see Suicide Squad?
I have not.
Okay, did you see Suicide Squad?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I want to say, okay, so I guess we'll keep it spoiler free.
No, you can talk about it.
Okay,
No, still should keep it.
Well,
I mean, for the fans, yes, but don't do it on account of
I know
it.
there's still people that have not seen it yet.
what were y'all general impressions of it?
Thank you, man.
My general impression of it was, as the actual film, given like the structure of it, the story of it, it's a mess. I'm not even gonna mince words. It's a mess, and I'm very disappointed because I'm like a fan of David Ayer as writer and director. Bearing that in mind, I still feel like he was able to establish a bond between the characters, which was one of the things that I thought was most important. I can forgive a crappy story sometimes, depending on how well the characters relate to one another. And I think that's kind of what happened with Suicide Squad. I think that they managed to nail a lot of, fundamentals of certain characters, and how they interact with each other was a lot more interesting than the story that was being put on display. And I think when you get to people like Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, you just hate her. And you're supposed to.
You're supposed to, right.
You're supposed to. Will Smith is Deadshot. I mean, it's Will Smith being, that classic blockbuster Will Smith that you're used to.
Exactly. It's Will Smith being himself.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was, it fits his character.
Okay.
So it's not one of those things where you complain about an actor who, just always plays themselves. But if it works for a specific character, then there's only so much complaining you can do. And for him as Deadshot, I thought that worked perfectly.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, just overall with Suicide Squad, I think after seeing it, because you guys know I really had no intent on seeing it. I think that's probably part of the reason why I even liked it as much as I did, because it set the bar low.
Yeah.
But for what I saw, it was well cast. I thought, all the characters were well cast. I think the problem had to be with the fact that too much of the story was focused on Margot Robbie and Will Smith's characters, Harley Quinn and Deadshot. I absolutely did not like Leto as the Joker.
Really?
I did not. And I actually felt like that character was wasted in the film. That film could have held up on its own without him.
Yeah.
And actually, let's look at a couple of things. I mean, the production, because it structurally, like what you say, and John agrees. What's up, John? You need to bring your butt back, man. Structurally, yeah, it was a mess, and you can see that was a mess. You can see from a lot of the edits where they jumped around.
Yeah.
And I think, you know what, a lot of it had to do with the fact that people were complaining, well, don't make it serious like Deadpool. Don't, excuse me, don't make it comical.
Right.
Like Deadpool.
Which
but
I don't think it was.
Then again, don't make it serious like Man of Steel.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, which one do we do? And then after Deadpool came out, that's when we started hearing the rumors, well, they're going back to throw some other stuff at this film that should have been in there, because, well, now with Deadpool being a success, we gotta do the same thing. And I felt like, okay, when you're going back and messing with whatever you got that you thought was good, then it makes a lot of us curious to see what the original cut was going to be like. Because, I mean, granted, even as a sidebar, we reported this week on our site, Popcultureuncovered.com, that somebody decided, hey, we're going to go sue Warner Brothers because there wasn't enough Joker.
Like, and that's kind of like, to preface that just a little bit, like, I'm kind of in disagreement with you as far as not liking Leto as Joker. I just think that there was not a structure in which you could develop that particular interpretation of the character. There was no structure that existed that would have allowed for you to give that character time to actually grow within a film.
It's
Well,
like I think we're kind of. I'm sorry. I think we're kind of in the same point though. He was shoehorned into the movie.
Right, but why was he there? Like, is he essential to telling the Suicide Squad story?
No.
So why?
For me, not really.
For this version it is, but before I jump in, I wanted to hear Devon's thoughts on it.
Oh, as far as the Joker goes, or
Maybe
Suicide Squad?
all of it.
My thoughts on it were that it could have been anything. If it weren't branded by Warner Brothers / DC Comics as Suicide Squad, it could have been anything. Like, I didn't really feel anything for any of the characters. I thought that Will Smith brought what he could to it, but I can't remember who said it, but I felt like it was Will Smith doing the dead shot. Jared Leto, couldn't figure out why he was there. And I think that the edits never gave you a really good reason as to why Joker and Harley were together. It was just like, okay, she's in Arkham, he's in Arkham. She might be a little bit crazy.
And he brought the crazy out. But the story didn't allow for fleshing that out.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of been a problem of mine, is that in the right hands, like Paul Dini, who created her, and Bruce Timm, you see that she has Stockholm Syndrome. And you as the reader just screaming at the comic page or the TV screen or whatever going, girl, get out of there. Get out, get away from him. And Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner actually did that, where in the comics she broke away from him, and she's actually in a healthy relationship with Poison Ivy right now. So she actually sees what a good relationship should be. And my fear is with this movie, people are going to romanticize this Stockholm syndrome that this woman has with this like homicidal maniac as something romantic. And that, I don't know, to me that was a problem.
There is that risk, but at the same time I kind of feel like Joker is enough of a well-known character that you know enough about the Joker to like, I don't know, I guess I kind of have a little bit more faith in the audience to be like, that's just kind of crazy. But like, I don't know if that's going to.
See,
I don't know if that would work.
I don't necessarily
know
if the script got that across.
Probably.
It was just like Harley would do something, she'd talk about her pudding, she'd go running after him, he'd come running back. And it was like, and to some people who don't necessarily know what healthy looks like, that might be something that somebody would want.
But let me add this. I mean, because you guys have kind of like, you know, put a lot out there. So I guess let me kind of take it bit by bit. First off, I'm a John Ostrander Suicide Squad fan.
Right.
So I go all the way back. So you've got the tension in the script between the New 52 version of the Squad, where Harley is there, and there is a newer version of Harley's origin, I guess, that kind of conflicts as well. There's a lot of stuff that's alluded to. The thing I can't get away from is I keep thinking about Smoking Aces in this movie.
I can see that.
And it's in ensemble films, you were always going to struggle behind the fact sometimes the characters you want to delve into the most, like in Smoking Aces, I could have had a whole Alicia Keys movie. Because the two of them, I could have had a whole movie of comedy. I could have had a whole movie.
I was about to say that's a whole another movie that was
right. And so, and so far as the part behind Harley, the thing I really thought about was I was like, you're establishing the beginning to get to the Poison Ivy part.
Right.
Because my thing is the throwaway lines in the script where it's like she looks at Deadshot, the whole conversation of, you know, you've never been in love with anybody before. She's like, oh, another type A social disorder. You know, it's she's working herself there. She's not there yet. The thing I thought was interesting that was different is the issue of to what degree was she was tortured.
Right.
Because the moment came and went so fast that if you weren't cheating, you would have realized it. Because before it was always Harley voluntarily basically threw away her life and fell in love with the Joker. Mm-hmm. You don't know how much of it is her and how much of it was in terms of her him torturing her. Right. My last thing behind the Joker, I thought Jared Leto's Joker was brilliant for one simple reason.
I hated it.
I know it, and lots of people do. My thing was what different direction do you want to go in? You can't do Jack Nicholson's version because 1989 and this time period are dramatically different, and that version of the Joker doesn't work. You can't do Heath Ledger's version, which was basically an anarchist, because of the fact that that notion of the Joker doesn't fit in this universe. This is basically a movie about villains, and most of these villains are motivated by either just committing one acts of violence, or they're motivated by money. And this version of the Joker is the gangster. And there have been, historically, if you think back to the late 70s, early 80s versions of the Joker, he vacillated between poisoning the Gotham River, to poison the crap out of everybody, to doing an irrational bank robbery. And I felt like this was you couldn't do Batman from the 1960s. You couldn't do 89. You couldn't do Heath Ledger. But you did. The danger of repeating any of those is the audience automatically tunes out. So the hope is you give them something different. And so in that instance, that was
which I absolutely get.
But this is where you hit the flaw of DC movies, and that is. Well, yeah.
But you have to figure that out.
If you're gonna do Harley, you have to do him.
Right. But
you don't necessarily have to have him in there as much as he was in there.
But here's the thing, and this is the flaw with DC movies, is the fact that every time they do these movies, it's in a different universe. Because you got to look at the fact you had the original Superman film. That was one universe. Then you had the Batman films from '89 and the Joe Schumacher stuff. That's in its own universe. Then you had the recent ones that we got. That was
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, the Nolan verse. Then now you got this new version. So it's like, okay, every time you keep retreading these characters, those of us that are comic fans as well as movie fans, we got to figure out which universe are you trying to base these characters off of. So we got 3 different versions of the Joker. And I felt like watching Leto's version to me, to a certain point, somewhere along the line, he was trying to channel Ledger's version, and then sometimes he felt like he was trying to channel, if you want to go all the way back, Batman 66 Joker. It's like, I saw elements in there. I'm like, okay, we need to make up our mind what Joker.
Okay, see, now, can I just say this? To me, I get all that, but as I'm watching it, all I feel is like I'm watching Jared Leto be awkward, and his whole acting style seems to suggest I'm not going to do this thing where I'm going to be the bring something new to the Joker. I'm just going to be Jared Leto being freaking awkward.
Yeah.
And that was kind of annoying too.
Right.
No, and I hear you. I guess my only criticism is, you just kind of went over the litany history of every visual depiction of the DC universe, right? And it's like and to my ultimate criticism, and this is my criticism of the fans and the critics, it is you cannot honestly sit and compare what you're seeing with DC to what you saw with Marvel. Marvel was a 10-year slow burn. The whole concept is very planned out and narrowly detailed from its inception. Superman, we're going back to the 70s with Christopher Reeve. You can't get past the fact that, there was no Marvel before DC. The history of superheroes goes back to DC. So when telling those stories, you can't get past the fact, we had Batman black and white serials that were horrible before the 1966 show. Right. So is that at a certain point as a fan, is it the fact that the movie's not good, or is it the fact that it's not a Marvel movie? Because I feel like ultimately comic book movie fans now are Marvel movie fans, because it's an expectation of when you see Ant-Man, you had a full Ant-Man film. So for the 6 minutes of interaction between Ant-Man and every character, you automatically know why he's interacting that way. If you go to see a DC movie, you're not going to get the same thing. And so that's why it didn't surprise me when I saw 72% of people who saw the film on Rotten Tomatoes, the audiences liked it. 26% of critics hated it. And I was like, the critics are pre-programmed. If it's a DC movie, Christopher Nolan better do it. Otherwise, they're not even going to give it a second star. If it's not a Marvel movie, it's not a proper summer popcorn movie. And I thought there are flaws in the film. I think this is a great ensemble film. I can't ever think of an ensemble movie from 300 or anything else where you ever had enough time with the one character that you actually like. Because by the time I started liking Stelios didn't have a head anymore.
Well, spoiler.
Speaking of not having a head anymore, because we're gonna move on. So one of the, I can't necessarily say least talked about, because it's been talked about a lot. Niche Games dropped yesterday, and that was No Man's Sky. And it's a PlayStation exclusive. It's supposed to drop on PC, I believe, August the 12th. And it's yet another game. I thought for like a while, like, do I want it? Don't I want it? Do I want it? Don't I want it? I got 2 games I need to finish. I guess I can squeeze this in. you know what? I have to say this about No Man's Sky. It's the only game I think I've ever played.
Yes.
That after 6 to 8 hours, I still can't tell you whether I like it or not.
Wow. Wow.
And you've clearly committed.
That's not
Right.
that's not a positive thing here.
No, it isn't.
That's not good.
That is not good.
No, because, and you might be right. I mean, out of all the games I've ever played, from the Assassin's Creed series,
Which is amazing.
Uncharted,
Amazing too.
Even Destiny. You know, after a couple hours, I knew whether or not I liked this game. But with you know what? The most I can say with No Man's Sky is, for everything that I've done in this game, it's literally like I left out of the store. I walked over to DuPont Circle. I came back. I got my spaceship. I left the planet, and I might have explored about a block of the next planet. It is that massive.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let me just ask you a few questions about the game. Is there a villain?
No,
It's just pure exploration.
it is the biggest sandbox game you'll ever play.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so basically, it's a time suck for which there is no villain, so no stated purpose other than to explore.
Right.
Oh, well, guess what I'll be passing on.
I'll be waiting for the patch when the overlords show up and I have something
Well,
to shoot.
see, but that has been the known premise of the game since it's been announced. It is literally probably the biggest astronaut sim you could ever play. Resource management, making sure that now, the thing that I'm kind of bugged on. I'm sorry, there's no shooting, there's no killing. Well, there's shooting and killing, but only if you opt to.
So in other words,
Hold on.
I can just walk around picking up bushes.
You could, or you could kill stuff. There's a hole, and there's a very big hole early on. The hole early on is once you start the game up, and once it loads up after it takes you across the universe, is your character is randomly generated onto a planet in a life support suit with broken equipment and a spaceship. You're not told who the prior owner was or why you're here. You just go.
Beat it.
And I'm like sitting there like, now, okay, I'm good with the fact that I'm wandering around on this planet and I'm discovering stuff. I get to name stuff. I get to name an entire solar system or a galaxy after myself and my brethren. And I can travel to moons and do all of this in real time. But
The 4th time you do it.
no, I'm still considering the fact, how the heck did I end up here with a ship?
You're still kind of stuck on that.
I'm still, and people are like, well, that's not the thing you should be worried about. Yeah, that's kind of the thing I want to think about here. Like,
I'm kind of
That's just
interested in this
random.
game now. Because you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of
camera. Yeah.
No, it reminds me of when they had a PC game for Doom.
Yeah.
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 That was
no, I mean that was basically a resources management game.
Right. And
basically all you did was go around mining spice.
yeah. And essentially, this is kind of the same thing, but like I said, the fun of it is you're not just walking around doing it. I mean, it is a discovery type game where
There is a mystery you need to solve.
there's a mystery because you do need to get to the center of the galaxy.
Okay.
That is your objective.
Okay.
Why?
You learn that as you go.
Okay.
You learn that as you go. Go ahead. You know what? I want you to ask questions.
So, I don't know. Do I know who I am?
Yeah.
Okay, I know
You-
who I
you
am.
are you.
I am me.
Oh, so there's no history to you?
No.
Okay, so I am me. I have a ship that I don't know where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a randomly generated planet, and I'm going to the center of the universe for reasons I'm not currently aware of. But I will begin to figure out during the course of the adventure.
Right.
You know what this sounds like?
Mm-hmm.
When smart people do dumb things.
And you get to learn ancient languages as you go. Because unlike
But what is the reason to know them? Like, do you interact with others?
eventually, yeah.
Okay.
What is
Eventually?
What is eventually?
Is it possible to never interact with people?
Yeah. Yeah.
So even in the course of the game, you're trying to make it to the center of the universe.
You
can
might
interact
want to
with
interact.
nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. That might drive me insane.
That would.
And I think that, like I said, that is the whole point because I mean, you don't start. It's not like
The whole
Mass
point.
This
Effect.
is basically
It is totally.
The whole
it is
point
totally
of the game is to
opposite.
give you space dementia.
Yeah.
This is basically.
Okay, now I'm checked out. Sorry.
This is basically the game of life
In space.
in space. So it's like the game of life meets Hal Jordan meets all my space adventures, like Lost in Space.
Why didn't they just make the Little Prince game if that's how they
Well, like I
Get the
said,
kids in there.
but you know what? To me, this game is like the total opposite of Mass Effect.
Okay. Okay.
It is the, Mass Effect.
Or it's
there's
the
a
other
story
side of the
that-
coin that has Mass Effect on the other
No.
side.
I wouldn't even put it on the other side of the coin.
Okay.
To me, it's like the
The
this is Mass
antithesis.
Effect. This is No Man's Sky.
Okay.
Mass Effect, you got a story.
Great story.
You got a great story.
You got
You
characters.
got conflict. You got characters. Mass
Maybe
Effect.
a little romance.
Growth.
Yeah, No Man's Sky. It's all about you. Period. Going out and playing. You know what? This is what I like though. This is one of the. See, this is like when you play games in solitude, you get to think about different stuff. It's like, yeah, this kind of reminds me of Columbus in space. Let me finish.
Oh.
Yeah,
I was wait for
We
it.
were all having the same thought at the
Wait for
same
it.
dang time.
Oh.
Because you're going out.
You couldn't say Magellan.
No. The reason why, because as you go, there are things that you find. You remember how Columbus?
I mean, you are Columbusian if you're renaming the galaxy after yourself.
Hello. She got it. already.
Columbusian. I mean, that is Columbusian.
You're discovering stuff that's
Already there that people have been interacting with for
yeah,
probably millennia.
yeah. Because part of it is you're finding these monoliths. You're learning languages. You're learning the history about these creatures, and I'm like,
Okay, so what you're telling me is,
PC on this one?
no, absolutely not. So you're telling me I get an
So we're
opportunity.
being white people?
Well, no. You're receiving
Go ahead.
receiving the opportunity to become an oppressive
Right.
civilizing force.
you don't have smallpox blankets yet.
Not yet. That's going to be in the first patch. That's in the first patch.
Not yet.
It's on the way.
Eric, can I ask you this one last question? So this is you, right? I thought the whole point of playing a video game was to pretend that I'm somebody else. Whether I'm Laura Croft or Commander Shepard, I'm me all the time anyway.
Or Sam Fisher.
Or Sam Fisher or Samus from Metroid or anybody.
However, Nathan Drake was deliberately every man. He was deliberately made the way he was to be every man.
But
So
most guys aren't that smooth.
No.
he's not that smooth.
His name is Nathan.
Okay, Nathan Drake automatically when you
But
that's
you
better
made
than
up the
most
name
people.
anyway.
That is Biff.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. If you play the game, you know why he's.
Yeah. So
Never mind.
like I said, the crazy part is close to 8 hours in. I've only been from my planet to the planet's moon. I still can't give it a grade yet.
Well, that's kinda good, though.
I'm not
Like,
sure.
I
I'm
can't
not
invest so
sure.
much time into something.
I'm not sure how. And you know what? Even for those out there that are playing, I'm not sure how long that's going to keep people's interest, especially when you're looking at the fact now it's August and we're starting to get into gaming season. Because remember, let us remember this. This game was supposed to come back out in June.
This was announced at E3, right?
This was last year at E3.
Yes.
This game was last
Okay.
year at E3. It was
Okay,
supposed, matter of
I
fact,
remember
it was
this.
last year at E3. It was supposed to have been out early this year. It got pushed from early this year to June. June would have been the perfect time for people to figure out, do I like this game, do I not like this game? I'm in my fourth planet, this game could go screw itself. But now it's coming out. Madden's coming out in a couple of weeks. And then,
You said Madden is?
yeah, Madden's coming out.
Oh, well,
And you can forget that. Once Madden and everything
done
else
lost.
starts,
right.
yeah. And then see, one other thing I wanted to talk about, one other thing that I'm not crazy about, and this is also going to lead us to our next topic, talk about PlayStation, because this is a PlayStation exclusive. This system is pushing all of its resources for the graphics, because when you're kind of like standing still and you're not doing much, it is a visually beautiful game. But the problem is when you start running around or you're flying and shit, the graphics kind of
choppy and mess. Oh,
you get a lot of pop in. You get a lot of pop in, and that pop in has me very concerned because I'm figuring if this game was to be the game that they wanted it to be visually, maybe they should have waited for that PS4 Neo that we keep hearing about.
This thing, I mean, with the way you're describing this does seem like it's better as a VR game. So, with the headset and stuff, it seems like it would be better suited for that type of experience.
It really could be.
Especially if you're in the vastness of space like that.
And you know what? Now, I wouldn't be surprised that somewhere down the road, when they do release that VR headset, that's probably one of the games that.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. Yeah. That's what this sounds like. It's better suited
That'll
for.
probably enhance the experience.
Yeah. Right, and give that novelty, just that a little bit of novelty to keep people in it.
Well, it's not only the novelty, but just the immersiveness of having to have like the VR headset on and just having your field of vision completely encompassed by the game.
360, yeah.
That's going to help to enhance the experience of playing the game. I don't think you're going to get that if you've got like the controller you're looking at as a story.
Especially with the part when you're in the spaceship. Like, I'm pretty sure that's going to be amazing with the VR headset.
I actually think, from the point of view in the spaceship, I actually think it's going to be better when you're on the ground. Because you're kind of limited when you're in the ship. It might be better. It just might, because it's not really that much to see.
Yeah.
Armand doesn't look happy.
I'm like, okay, one of my requirements just for gaming and if you have a spaceship, then your time in the spaceship has to be cool.
You need to be shooting stuff.
Well, not just the shoot stuff. It needs to be a combat. Look, if it's space exploration, there needs to be some comets, some asteroids.
There are asteroids.
Okay.
Let me put it to you this way. When I finally got my spaceship fixed and I left my original planet, and I said, oh, there's a moon over there, I'm going to go to it. It literally, when a little timer came up, 20 minutes. Oh, no, we're not playing with you. It's literally 20 minutes. Oh, and don't think...
To get there?
Right.
It takes you 20 minutes to get there?
And don't think you're going to put the controller down and you're going to go off.
And let it fly. Right.
No. You will be navigating an asteroid field on your way. Now, mind you, remember, this is not the same for every planet.
But still, no.
If that's the bare minimum of time you have to spend in the spaceship traveling from
wait. That's until you get your hyperdrive built. Because that's your next objective is to get a hyperdrive.
Okay, 8 hours. You went 8 hours. Look, 8 hours to then spend 20 minutes going to the moon. Look, I hate to do this to you. I could play a strike in Destiny in 20 minutes. Why does that matter? Because I'm a father of 2. So I can say, oh, I done got my 15 minutes of game time in tonight. Time for me to drink my glass of water and take it to the bed. So if I got to do all this stuff, it's like, so now you're talking about your niche of gamer is somebody who has a buku amount of a disposable time. And
those are teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
And when Madden comes out,
that's it.
They're
done. Right.
That's it.
There are guys who run seasons of Madden that only take an hour long.
Right. And then, like you said, like, if you're splitting your time between different games, this game doesn't seem like it's going to keep a lot of people. Because you got to do a whole bunch in a whole lot of time.
And the funny thing is you're doing a whole bunch, but you don't feel like you've done anything. You've seen stuff, but you still have only seen a speck. And that's why I say I'm not sure where I am with this game right now. I'm really not. And like I said, the problem is because now I mean, I know whenever the World War I game drop, whenever those things come out,
you're dropping it.
No Man's Sky will be on
left
some dude's shelf collecting dust.
No Sky for me.
Right.
Yeah.
No Woman's Sky either.
It's going to have to pass.
But like I said, because we talking about PlayStation because it is a Sony exclusive. What do you think about the PS Neo? PS4 Neo.
I mean,
you're being an Xbox guy.
Me being an Xbox guy, you know what? I'll say this. I don't think there's any question that the PlayStation is leading the way.
Yeah.
Xbox horribly dropped the ball. And I mean, they've been playing behind since the console this year came out. The larger problem for me is this is the most disappointing console generation of anyone I can think of because we have yet to see a genuinely unique game come out that could not have been played in one form or another on the previous console.
You didn't like Watch Dogs?
I would rather play the original Grand Theft Auto than play Watch Dogs.
Damn.
So that's one. Then two, it really is the driving force for consoles since we first got one was the concept of the exclusive.
Yeah.
And neither console has produced an exclusive that really drives you to go get one. And what I mean by that is, I had a PlayStation 1 before I had an Xbox. The game that convinced me I was really missing on something, Knights of the Old Republic. Every person I had, when they started telling me stories about what they were doing in that game, I was like, they ain't got nothing like this on my PlayStation.
They ain't got no Star Wars on the PlayStation.
And traded my whole system in for that and Halo, and I was just like, oh god. And neither console is producing something like that. Playing Halo 5. No, the exclusives now equate to if you have a PS4 and you have Destiny, you get certain weapons and you get certain strikes that either first or altogether that I don't get from when I play Destiny. Does it really change the game that much? No.
Okay, but like you were saying earlier, it's 6 in one hand and half a dozen in the other, because before this happened, people were mad that there were only PS exclusives and only Xbox exclusives. Because they wanted to play a game on the Xbox, so they didn't want to buy it. So
you know what? Let me go way back. What sold the Super Nintendo back in the day?
Mario.
No, before Mario. Well, after Mario. What third-party exclusive sold that system? Nope. Street Fighter 2.
Yes.
You said
yeah.
You said Nintendo, not Super Nintendo.
He did say Super Nintendo.
He did say Super Nintendo.
I heard what I wanted to hear.
Yeah,
You heard Nintendo.
Yeah, you did.
But that is what we're missing. We are because and the problem is with this generation, they have tried so hard to find that game, because Titanfall wasn't it.
No.
Titanfall, and it missed on so many levels. We can sit up there, we can talk, we can pull that game apart.
It's the same way with N64 and GoldenEye.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
If you would have pulled that one out, yeah.
Right. But
people make memes about GoldenEye like this.
Yeah.
Was
Still now.
This was Call of Duty before Call of Duty.
Yes, it was. People still pull out their 64s. To this day.
I was in an anime club in community college, and all they did was play N64. I'm like, are we gonna watch any anime?
No. We're gonna get a game.
No.
No.
That had people.
Because the thing of it is, it's like you do have your first party exclusives, but when you're looking at some of the first party exclusives now, we're on Mario number 20 billion.
Yeah.
We're on Uncharted 4. Now, mind you, I like Uncharted. For some of these games I do like, but the thing of it is, we don't have. Where you going? Where do you think you're going? Okay then. You don't have that brand new IP that's really sitting out, because again, let's look at Watch Dogs. And Watch Dogs was not a console exclusive, but Watch Dogs was supposed to be the game that was going to move the new consoles, and it bombed.
I don't think it bombed. I just don't think it didn't do what people thought it was going to do.
I think that game bombed because
in our culture now, that means something bombed.
Okay,
Which is sad. It's like there's no middle ground anymore. It's
there really isn't.
No,
I mean,
you can't just underperform. You have to suck.
You don't underperform anymore.
Well, I mean,
you have to tank. But you have to flop.
But to take the example of the movie we just talked about, when you'd have a whole bunch of E3 trailers and the expectations are sky high, and you get the game,
there you go.
Hold down the X button. You're like, what the?
Huh?
I'm doing hacking, and everybody thought, oh, it's gonna be some great puzzles and some complicated stuff.
And
hold on the
great
Xbox.
graphics.
Oh, right. When you were like, gee, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in some ways looked a little bit better than the game that I'm playing right now.
San Andreas was better than Grand Theft Auto 4.
Not to mention the fact, if you're a hacker, right? Why are you carrying around an assault rifle and a couple of hand
Why are you
grenades?
killing people?
Why are you fighting a black game lord named Iraq?
Yeah. That's about all you can do.
With the blonde mohawk, because a regular mohawk wasn't sufficient.
I'm gonna take a knee on that.
Hold on. So in other words, Watch Dogs was like the Demolition Man The Wesley Snipes with the blonde mohawk.
Okay, but you know what?
Wait, now you're trying to bring me back into it. Cause
I mean, yeah, when you say that,
Demolition Man is my
that's
joy.
fun.
Of all the R-rated movies that got, like, you know, Saturday morning cartoons, why wasn't there one for Demolition Man? Sorry to take it off on that tangent, but I'm just saying.
That was a good cartoon. Chuck Norris was a good cartoon also.
If you had had like Peter Chung doing like character designs for a Demolition Man cartoon, that joint would be winning.
But you know what? Let me bring it back.
Sorry.
We didn't went way up.
Yeah,
but considering where we are with the systems now, do we really need a higher power system this early? Because to me, I feel like with the announcement of any new system right now, you're pretty much telling me that I wasted my time and money.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
On the systems that I just invested in less than 3 years. Especially when I'm looking
There's still games I want to go back and play on 360.
And on the PS3.
Because what's making me mad is I've invested in the system, and most of the games that are coming out that I'm actually looking forward to are remasters. Why the heck am I looking more forward to a Skyrim remaster than Titanfall?
Because we got suckered. Because the way you know we got suckered was Activision's position on Destiny. When they were like, this new patch, this new DLC that comes out will be the first DLC you cannot play on the 360. And that for me said anything in regards to the last console generation was the longest console generation of any of them.
Ever.
They should have probably 3 or 4 years into prior gone ahead and started switching stuff out. What happened was they decided they got comfortable and everybody was making great money. Mm-hmm. Everybody decided we're going to go ahead and do a new console generation now. Nobody saw 4K Ultra coming. I think no.
I don't. You know what I was about to say? I don't disagree with you on that. I think the thing of it is like they saw it coming, but they didn't future-proof soon enough.
Yes.
And that has always been a trademark, especially with Sony. That has always been a trademark with their system. You know when they came out with PlayStation, they were the first ones doing things on discs. Eventually, we got DVD playback, and then we got online capability. So,
and I'm really surprised by that, given that they're Sony. So they're supposed to be the leaders in TVs.
They're not doing game systems.
Right. So I'm very surprised with PlayStation that way.
It's like you couldn't see that coming?
Because 4Ks were just hitting the market. 4K televisions were literally just maybe a year old on the market when these systems were announced.
Hey, but as far as Sony, you gotta remember, MP3 players, digital books, are all things that Sony did first. Now, the same thing is a common between Sony and Microsoft. So Microsoft came out with the tablet before Apple did. We're talking about the problem is we have two console companies that are not tech leaders. They're great at doing consoles. When you look at the broader list of the things that they do, they are not good in those other niches. Sony has been struggling ever since we left the Walkman.
Yeah.
Microsoft has been struggling ever since really Windows XP.
Yeah. Seven was decent.
Right. So we have two companies that are not driving things, and that's the reason why the game we talked the most about tonight was Pokemon Go, right? Because people seem to have figured out how to make games widely accessible via mobile, where the consoles continue to struggle to get those same.
I mean, but I was going to actually bring this up when we were discussing, but that's why we see what Konami did. They're completely like, it's over. We're not making any. I mean, they had Silent Hill coming out. I mean, Metal Gear. How they shut that down. Like, they could have just survived off Metal Gear alone, and people would have ate it up.
And then another big problem is as well.
So they said, no, we're on mobile games because this is what makes money. This is what people are investing their time in.
And that's a point, too. Hey, Java, I see you on board. Because even our friend Doug just brought it up as well, is the fact that now you got a lot of games that are holding off because now they're waiting for the systems to upgrade. Because, see, the problem is this. And I don't even know if it's necessary. I don't even know if it's necessarily a problem. It's like you still got AAA games. You can't say people aren't buying them because some of these games come out with so much acclaim. It's just that when these AAA games come out, we want them to be good.
Right.
Because when you think that people have poured millions into developing some of these games, and then they come out and they do so horribly, but yet still we start hearing behind the scenes, EA had these people working double, triple overtime just to make this game, and they were dropping dead on the spot. But the game breaking millions. Yeah.
Wait, that really happened? I did not know that. That I didn't know. That I didn't know.
In the early to mid 2000s, there were a lot of reports coming out about working practices for a lot of the gaming companies, where game developers, they were getting little to no money for the work they were putting in for some of these
They were
games.
sweatshopping.
Yeah.
Basically, boom. That happened.
That's so weird.
That happened. That happened. So that's why you've heard of like a lot of shops closing down throughout the night. THQ's gone off the map.
Yeah.
And so many other, I can't even name, but at least like 10 big companies that were big in like the late 90s during the PlayStation heyday,
Yeah.
to now, they don't exist no more. They've gotten pulled up into other companies. And then the problem is, a lot of these games come here, and they're not as graphically intensive. They're some of the simplest games.
They don't have to be.
I'm trying to understand why Minecraft is such a big hit.
I can't.
Again, and again, I think this is probably something that...
But it's the audience, too.
I think I brought this up the last show where, you know, you do have, like, some people who can capitalize on people who care more about gameplay than graphics. And I think as long as you get... That's what's always been Nintendo's strength. Nintendo never thrived based on, like, how graphically advanced their games look. It was all about gameplay.
Right. And the experience. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and the thing of it is, I still, to a certain degree, feel like Nintendo needs to kind of catch up and get on board, because the problem is, the reason why they lost out with the Wii U is because a lot of developers did not want to start developing games for a system that was coming out at a time when other systems were shifting to bigger platforms. Because remember, Wii U came out right around the same time when the PS4 and the Xbox One was dropping. Mm-hmm. Now, if the Wii U was running some of the same architecture that our current systems are running, I think more people would have gotten on board. But it's like, wait a minute, why am I developing for a system that has graphics of a past generation? Because that was the problem with the Wii. And the crazy part was, the Wii slid by because you got these sticks.
It's the way you're moving. It's motion.
But try making Call of Duty on 2 other platforms, but then you got to develop a Wii version.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. That's a whole nother ballgame.
So now you're talking about, okay, now we got this Wii U. Now I'm not going to front. I thought one of the best ideas with the Wii U was like, okay, I could take my tablet and I could go play
the gameplay.
I could go play in another part of the house and don't lose my spot.
Yeah.
But when you're doing that, I'm like, okay, but where would I rather play Assassin's Creed? Do I want to play Assassin's Creed here, or do I want to play it on my new shiny box? I'm going to play on my new shiny box.
Yeah.
So, I think whatever Nintendo is planning to do with the NX, whatever their new system is going to be, that sucker better sell like gangbusters, because I kind of feel like with the way Nintendo stocks have been sliding lately, and especially even with this, you know, when we found out from the Pokemon Go's we just talked about earlier, they're not making no money off of it. They're going to wind up like Sega pretty soon.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that.
I mean, come on, why after the, you mean to tell me after the Dreamcast, you're not making another game system? Are you crazy?
And the Dreamcast was the joint.
Oh my God. The little Tamagotchi thing?
I had fond memories of the Sega Master System.
Yeah.
I remember the only reason why I got a Nintendo is because you could not trade games, because I was the only kid I knew who had a Master System. I only got it just to trade games.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, Jet Grind Radio, Project Justice, those were some great games on Dreamcast. I played those joints for hours.
You know what? Sega Master System, the game they were putting on SD cards, those large SD cards. Okay?
Now it's kids.
Yeah. Like, we're not going to put them on cartridges. Well, we're going to put some stuff on cartridges, but we're going to put something on these little cartridges and slide it in. Memories! So fresh in my mind. Luke Cage, y'all.
Yeah.
Get my black light.
Oh my
Get
God.
my black light. Get my black light.
All right. You like the trailer?
Hey.
All right, listen here. Whatever we say about Marvel in terms of movies and stuff like that, and you know all the other little speculations we want to have about you know their movies as far as their formula and how it might be a little bit outdated, or it's just like it may trick you into thinking a movie is better than it is. But when it comes to their Netflix shows, I didn't really think much about it when it was first announced. And then, Daredevil comes out. Then you've got Jessica Jones. And you have, keep giving Rosario Dawson work. So I'm like, thank you.
Yes, keep my girl in the job.
Yeah.
Keep my girl in the job.
Now that we get to Luke Cage and you see what they're doing with that character, having built him up from Jessica Jones, and this is more so than I think even Daredevil. I think this is going to be a show where the city or the environment is going to be as much of a character as Luke Cage.
It's Harlem, baby.
Yeah,
It's
it
hard.
has to. It has to.
It's Harlem, baby.
They have these great little Easter eggs in here where you got, the villain talking about everybody wanted to be the king, and he's standing in front of the portrait of Biggie with the crown on his head, so that
the
crown
crown looks like it's
appears
on him.
on his
Yeah.
head. It's you have great little Easter eggs like that. You've got the flashback scene of Luke Cage being experimented on, because everyone talks about Luke Cage. You immediately think of those bracelets and the tiara, and it's like, obviously they're not going to do this in this show because it's too gritty, it's too real, and they found a way to pull it off if it's only going to be from that scene.
Yeah.
And yeah, it still kind of does look kind of goofy, but you appreciate the homage just because there's like a framework in which it can exist.
Well, let me add this. Luke Cage happens to be a what race and ethnicity?
He is a black man.
So in doing a film about a black man who happens to be super strong from Harlem of course being in New York, there's a certain theme and a certain essence that should be there. And the fact that the first trailer did have ODB.
Yes.
That every episode is named after a Gang Starr song.
Yes.
It's like, it roots that character for me in all the right ways. So it's like, look, it's a Marvel show. You know it's going to be well written. You know it's going to be a good villain. Mm-hmm. But you don't want this to be the black version of Daredevil.
No,
you want to stay as its own thing. And what I'm saying so far, it's doing that. It has its own niche and its own space. And whoever is who's calling the shots, I give them a lot of credit, because it's a very brave thing to be like, we're going to take a black character and not repackage him to make him palatable to mainstream America.
And
we're going to
take
take a black character, we're going to make him black.
Like one of the things the showrunner said, I'm blanking on his name unfortunately, but he was like, it's about time to have a show about a bulletproof black man.
Scare everybody.
Yeah.
Wait, what? We hit him with a car and what happened? Oh my God. Especially now.
You shoot him like 10, 12 times, and here's him like...
What? You just messed up my shirt, man.
I love your shirt.
I'm getting real sick of buying new clothes.
Yeah, and Doug sounds like he's really excited. He says Luke Cage looks like he's going to be incredible. Dialogue sounds amazing, which it does.
Yes.
Action sequences look fantastic, which they do. And Harlem looks to be amazing. So, yeah. People are going to be taking... When does it come out? Next month?
September 30th.
You calling that shit? Yeah.
What?
Feel it.
I'm not even going to fake. I'm going to be like, yo, boss. Luke Cage is coming to start today. I'm not going to be in the office.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah. My sister Java's in love. She says, love the truth of Luke, bulletproof black man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what more could you ask for? And you know what? Again, this is why I'm loving Netflix, and this is why I'm loving the fact that you have things like Netflix, which is just changing the game of television, because honestly, what network would have picked this show up?
Possibly Fox.
No.
Possibly.
Hold on. Wait.
Mantis.
Fox. Hold on. Fox would have picked it up in the 90s.
Well, yeah.
We had Martin, we
Yeah.
had Living Single, and New
New
York
York Undercover. They had Thursday night
Now?
a lot.
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah, given the way that they did your girl from Sleepy Hollow, yeah, I have no faith in y'all.
Okay, no, they gave her. They did her a
I'm
service.
looking forward to pitch.
She was an exceptional actress. They did her a favor of getting her off that show.
Well, from the hoopla, she wanted out.
I mean,
Yeah,
we
like
thought
got
she was
ugly.
ugly.
Yeah.
Wait, and you know what? Now, to be honest, after they got finished getting rid of the Headless Horseman,
Yeah,
kind of started.
No, it did. It
Yeah,
did.
it
It
kinda
lost
started
its
like,
stride.
there's
It
only
definitely did.
like
Wait a
you
minute,
realize
it's
that
like-
there's only so much you can do with this concept before it
Yeah.
becomes a very generic monster of the week procedural,
Which is what it was becoming.
which is what it was
Hey, wait a
becoming.
minute. Did we make enough to get into syndication?
There we
I'm
go.
out.
That's-
Yeah, but you know what? To me, you know what? That always comes off as a lame excuse. Because I say that because Friends lasted 9 seasons.
For absolutely no reason.
Cheers lasted 4.
Ever.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so I feel like if you give creative people enough space and room, that show could have gone.
Exactly.
Supernatural is still on. Didn't they figure out the issue with their dad and everything, and been to the afterworld and came back and had
And
children?
then again.
And
I take it you watch Supernatural.
No,
I watched because here was the thing: when Supernatural first premiered, I was like, I am not watching this show with some pretty white boys. Just going around. I'm not. And then,
And then you got into it, you're like, oh.
no, I got
You're like,
into
oh,
it. I was invested.
Yes. And
And then, like
Yeah.
Eric Kripke left, and they tried to keep going past his 5-year plan, and then.
Right, because he did come out and say this was not supposed to last this long.
And then, you get to, you get into, season 7, 8, and 9, and then by 10, 11, I was just like, all right.
To close on Luke Cage, what I will say, let us all be thankful that this is happening now and not earlier. If it was 10 years ago, Luke Cage would have been starting on D4. And he would have come in right after Homeboys in Outer Space.
Oh,
So,
And he would have had the tiara.
and the yellow. He would have had a crispy yellow shirt.
Yeah.
Look how your shirt stayed clean all the time. Dry clean. It would have been bad, y'all. They would have had commercials for Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima during the commercial break.
I don't know. I don't know about that because this is if you said 10 years from now, that's around 2006.
Yeah.
I think UPN had gone by this time.
Had it?
Yeah, I think they had merged with WWCW.
Oh.
It
Was
would
that-
no.
did
What
that
would
happen?
have
No, what would've been
happened? No, what would have happened is it would have been someone who was a lot younger and a lot prettier.
With hair.
I doubt he would have had hair. He would have had a nice bald cap.
They would have found a way to Smallville the mess.
But remember,
Oh.
90s Cage had the good Caesar. You ain't see that. He had a good Caesar and the big black jacket.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we went.
I think he raised a good point though. Like what you said, they would have probably tried the small building.
Yeah.
It would have been Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan.
Not 10 years ago.
Not 10 years ago.
Not Michael B.
He would have been ready yet.
Someone Michael B. Jordan.
That type.
Yeah.
That type. But we got that, and then of course, we got, let's be happy. We also got Stranger Things, which is another good show.
I keep
I'm just
hearing
gonna-
great things about that show.
I'm going off topic, but watch it. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
Why?
I heard it's a great homage to.
Here's the breakdown of Stranger Things. If you are, it is like Stephen King, John Carpenter,
You
and
got
Steven
my
Spielberg
attention
had a
at
threesome and produced a translucent baby with
Right
a
my
heart.
cameraman. You right my
Sir.
cameraman, sir.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
yeah. If those three had a translucent baby that had a heart that was basically a prism, just emitting the 80s from just the complete spectrum, that's basically Stranger Things.
Oh wow. Okay.
All right, worth checking out. Then.
I know that's graphic and a little disgusting, but that's the
Yeah,
best.
because it
way I
reminds
can-
me of that episode of South Park.
If you like
Steven
the Goonies.
If you
that's
believe
how
that
bad
the
it is.
potential of Super 8 was gravely disappointing.
Super 8 mixed with
No,
the
that did. No, I really did have high expectations,
Yeah.
and then all I
Yes.
just heard was.
Monster Squad-ish.
A little bit,
tiny bit.
but not much.
Okay.
More Goonies than Monsters.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And that's all we got to say about that. So,
All right.
let's turn into our main topic really quick.
Okay.
What indie comic book would you like to see turned into a film or a TV show? Because mine's gonna be a TV show.
Okay.
And
Coward's Way Out. It is.
go jump out of that window.
You said what?
That was the Coward's Way Out.
And who would you like to see star in it if you could?
Okay. Ask me last.
Okay.
I got-
Contemplate
I'll
on
go
this.
first.
You go first, yes.
No, I'm gonna let Armand go first so you can say Lazarus.
You know what? You know what? For 2 seconds of a second, 15 minutes ago, I was thinking that, which only tells you how much time I spent with you that I probably should. But actually, what I was gonna say, and I was teasing because I was gonna say TV show also. I was gonna say East or West. I was gonna say East or West for one simple reason. Because
that book is amazing.
Yes,
the title's amazing.
Yeah, that too. And then if people can get that engrossed with Game of Thrones, look, I feel like the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse are a topic that everybody has at least some passing knowledge of. And I think the basic premise of that book, that death betrays his fellow horsemen and tries to prevent the end of the apocalypse because he has fallen in love and had a child. That is such a simple premise. Now, granted, everything else beyond that is so complicated. They're like trying to do that as a movie would be like Watchmen. It would fail because the concept is so high and the time is so short. But as a TV show, absolutely.
Can we add to this too? What station or channel we would put it on?
Okay, I would absolutely make it an HBO show.
Okay.
It would have to be.
Okay.
It would have to because I mean, now I haven't read much of East to West, but from what I see, that's a high concept show that would not do well elsewhere.
Yeah.
I would love to get somebody like David Lynch.
Yeah.
To come in and direct. In terms of casting, I'm gonna go ahead and just take the sucker route and say I would probably get Idris Elba to play Death because Death starts off one color and then flips into the other, and I think it would be interesting to do it that way. And then beyond that, I think it's like a smorgasbord. You can get just a little bit of everybody, but
you have to.
But if I was gonna pick one property, I would probably go with East or West.
Okay. One of our viewers, I believe it was Doug, said he would like to see Faith.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Faith is probably the TV show that this world actually needs and probably will never get.
Yeah.
But conceptually, look, I think I give Valiant all the credit in the world for doing a book like Faith. The fact they gave her a solo book. Most companies wouldn't even have had her as a character.
That's what I was gonna say. Are we talking about Faith from Buffy?
No, we're talking about Faith from the Valiant universe.
Zeppelin. Okay.
Most companies would never have. Look, most
companies don't even have.
But they don't have a plus-sized heroic figure who is happy about being a plus-sized person, who embraces who she is and thinks it's great, and is not like an emotionally scarred, depressed person.
Right. She haven't even seen the Blob in a minute. I'm just saying.
No, that's a lie. You've seen the Blob, and you know what? The Blob is Diesel. He's Diesel-esque. He was just in the new run of X-Men.
Yeah, it'll show you how much I believe in X-Men.
Same here.
But enough of me. So we did touch on Faith. So
those are your two. Faith.
Okay, my one would be Chew.
Would be Chew?
Yeah. They were working on that.
They were because they were trying to get Robin Williams to play what's his name?
The partner.
Yes, the original partner. Yeah. They wanted Robin Williams to play that before.
It's been talked about for a while.
She was amazing.
When I see John Layman in September, I'll probably ask him again if any more is known about what's going on with that, because I believe they got David Tennant on board at one point to play a character as well.
Explain
okay,
people who don't know Chew.
For people who don't know Chew and don't know what you're missing, it is probably one of the smartest indie books I've read since Boys. It's been around going on, 5 to 6 years now. The whole idea is, in an alternate universe, the FDA runs the show. Not the CIA, it's the FDA.
Stick with it.
Yeah, just stay with us. And reason being is somehow all the chicken in the world got tainted. So that happens. But arising out of this, there's a guy by the name of Tony Chew, which is a play on the title Chew, C-H-E-U. And he has a set of superpowers. His superpower is that for everything that he eats except beets, he can tell you exactly where it came from.
It's history. It's entire history. It's birth or inception or growth.
To it's being prepared.
Yes.
And as the story goes along.
And anything that he eats.
Anything. Well, except beets.
Oh, yeah. Acceptable.
And as the story goes along, she says dead beets. We'll come to dead beets in a second.
Canned beets.
Canned beets. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. As we go, there are people with different powers. Like there's one person, when she writes about food, every time you read it, you react to the way she writes about it, which I found especially funny because when I read the very first issue that she appeared, she's doing a food review. And the review she gave to it was so bad, people were literally getting off of the bus throwing up. And I thought it was so funny because I'm on the metro trying not to laugh. So you have a person who can communicate thoughts with his cooking. You have all these people with different food powers, and it's brilliantly written.
Yeah.
And I would love to see that. And matter of fact, the guy I would love to see playing the part,
Tony?
yeah, Tony Lung is one guy, and Harry chose another.
Good. I actually have two, and I'll get through them real quick. But the first one, American Vampire.
Yeah.
Yes, I stopped reading that.
Yeah.
I need to pick that back up.
Like after Frank Darabont worked on The Walking Dead, it just hit me like a lightning bolt. He needed to develop an American Vampire series, and for those who don't know, American Vampire is basically, it takes place in like the turn of the 20th century to maybe like the mid-50s, where this one character, Pearl, actually is a struggling actress in the 1920s, and she gets wrapped up with these vampires who are, being, Hollywood producers, because that's a good way for them to get their prey. And she ends up getting turned, but what happens is, there's a new strain of vampire created, different from the ones that came from Europe. So she is an American vampire. And there's another American vampire known as Skinner Sweet, who is turned back in the Old West. So he has his own history, and their paths eventually intersect.
And one of the things I like about it, I'm kind of sad too that I kind of stopped reading it. I liked it because it didn't follow the same old tired formula that we're seeing now with True Blood and the original and all these other things I hear that, well, we want to talk about vampire hierarchy and the old ones versus the new ones.
There's a little bit of that.
It's a little bit of that, but it doesn't run along that same line.
And it's more kind of like almost the xenophobia of it.
Right.
Because you have these like sort of aristocratic vampires from Europe, and now you have vampires that are being turned in the United States at a point in history that is very formative for the country, and they see it as a threat to them. And it's a brilliant book. There were a few issues where Stephen King worked on like a secondary story.
Yeah.
And I think for my cast, I would have Charlie Hunnam as Skinner Sweet.
Okay.
And Anne Hathaway as Pearl.
If she would do TV though.
If she would, but I mean, you have so many people who are like A-list movie actors who are turning to TV like in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that much of a stretch anymore.
Right.
Besides the cast of the version.
Who?
Oh, explain that real quick.
Oh, yes, please.
Well, I mean, it's nothing like when hey, we did 3 feature films. We here at Lionsgate are a little mad about the amount of money we haven't made on all of this. So we're gonna take this 4th one, we're gonna put it on TV, and we're gonna tell all of you about 20 minutes before you hit the red carpet that now it's gonna be on TV. So everybody can just be like, yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna be on the TV show. My agent hasn't been contacted. I don't know what's going on.
But and then like the other one that I wanted to see was Vessel.
I haven't written.
That was Enrique Carrion and the original artist on Rat Queens. And I know that's probably that's like that's a very
Rock Up Church. Huh?
that's a very tough hurdle to get over.
Yeah.
But just in the concept, that's
like R. Kelly. Like
that's a roadblock.
You saw Ali die, name play on the Grace of all on the Grace, right? They couldn't even play the song from the soundtrack for the movie.
Yeah, but it was such a bizarre book. just in the storytelling, in the fact that the main character was Afro-Latino, and I was really like, drawn to the book, even though it is very strange, and it's a mix of, sci-fi and film noir, and it definitely felt like sort of heavy metal type stories. A lot of the humanoid press stuff, it kind of traveled in that vein, and basically the whole idea was the main character, Mauricio Marino, works for a company that handles consciousness transfer for, high-level clients. And sometimes certain cases are more difficult than others, and he has to be called in to, make sure that, those transfers go through before their enemies get to them.
In case you get constipated as you travel.
Right.
I'm just trying to say
And it's definitely one of those high-concept books that is, very strange, but I think it would be visually stunning if you could pull it off in live action.
And honestly, that's kind of the thing we need. We need more people to take those kinds of risks because we're sick of getting retreads.
Right.
Now I gotta kind of say something because one of our fellow PC viewers, Ray, he throws up Ghostbusters. I'm not sure how well that will work on television. I mean,
to have that concept on TV.
that's a lot of money.
But then I want to say this too, Ray. I mean, because the topic is we're looking at indie books.
Right.
Ghostbusters started off as a movie, and eventually they turned it into a cartoon, and then they turned it into a comic, and then they turned it back into a movie. And with all the backlashes going on with the present one, I still don't think we're ready for a live-action TV show.
You know what? I agree with you.
And in which way are we taking it? Are we taking the female cast or are we taking the male cast?
You got
I don't even think they would do that. Knowing them, God forbid, with everything else that's been offered, they will probably take a third route just to be spiteful.
Oh wow.
I don't think so.
No. I'm gonna give you a reason why.
Male and female.
Rush Hour, remember?
Rush Hour was a decade too late. And it's kind of funny.
Rush Hour should have stayed a movie.
I don't mind that they tried to make it a series. The problem was it was a decade too late, and you didn't have the right cast.
Okay, how about this? Beverly Hills Cop, the TV show.
Oh God, I'm glad that did not work.
That came and that went so fast.
There you go. It had been in development, HE hockey sticks for a long time, and when it got there, simplified and never should have.
Right. Because the whole idea, and this is what a lot of people saying, if you're going to go through all that, just go on and make another movie and let that one bomb too.
Boom. But we haven't gotten to yet.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Last but not least, I think I'm gonna do it for the ladies this time because we've had. This time. This time we're gonna do it for the ladies. So I'm just saying, I gotta represent us.
Of course you do that. I was just making an observation.
But the first one that I would love to be a movie. I would like to be probably like a trilogy, 3 series, possibly a TV show depending on how it works out. The comic written by Erica Alexander and her husband, Tony Perrier, Concrete Park.
Yeah.
That is such an amazing story. The artwork is gorgeous, and it's just the whole premise of it. It's basically Australia. The concept of Australia, how that was a convicts island.
Yeah.
How that starts off is basically like that. So convicts are shuttled off to this planet. You do hard labor for 3 years, and you're just kind of released into the planet. And it's the planet on the free part of the planet is run by just different gangsters and their crews. And the focus of one of the main characters you're focused on is the leader of an all-female crew. And
I can't say that. Go ahead.
Sounds like B-Planet, he was saying.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, it's similar in that sense, but she's a woman of color. She's I don't know if it's established that she's black or not, but I think she's biracial. But she's a woman of color, and she's running an all-girl group, and they're the smallest group, but they're arguably one of the most powerful. So it's about sex and drugs and gangsters
And all that good stuff.
Robots and all types of things.
The four basic food groups.
Yeah.
Messiah.
Sex, drugs, robots. Oh yeah, I mean,
I mean, you have to-
everybody will watch that.
Definitely, I would definitely make that into a TV show.
And I mean,
For this, I would probably, I don't know if I would cast anybody that's, you know, a big name. I feel like
For
this
that,
might,
no.
yeah, for this,
No,
I feel
no.
like this would have to be a new person, especially for all the characters.
what about Dasha Perino from
That she could work.
from Orange is the New Black?
She
Just
could
'cause I
work
wanna
that
see
because
her
you
in
want to
more
see
things.
her.
My girl Jessica.
Or out of things.
Was it Jessica Lewis?
No, that's fine. I just want to.
Yeah.
In Cloverfield, I would put her. She was
Jessica Lucas?
She was just
Oh,
on.
yeah.
She was just on Gotham.
Yes. Yeah.
If I remember, was she also the one in Cabin Fever?
Not Cabin Fever. She was in the
I mean, not Cabin Fever. Yeah.
the Evil Dead remake.
Oh, isn't she slender?
Yeah. I mean,
Then you can't have no. You can't.
Nas the main character.
Oh, I was like, oh no.
But just in it,
Yeah.
in general.
Okay.
Oh, yes,
Okay, I'll
yes.
give you that.
We can get down with
We'll get okay. They're growing right now. Another
I'm sorry.
title that I would definitely do is Paper Girls. I really like the premise of Paper Girls and how it's meeting the 80s, meeting.
It's very much in that same vein as Stranger Things.
Right. It's very good. It's an all-female cast, main cast. I mean, there are males there, but the main cast is mostly female. They're teenagers running a paper route in the 80s, but then stranger things start happening. There's aliens and there's tech that they've never seen, and it's just an amazing story. I don't want to give away too much on that one. And then finally, that would be a TV show. That would definitely have to be a TV show.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make that into a movie. And then the third one I would pick is Princeless. That is such an amazing story. Jeremy Whitley, I hope you're watching this. I can't sing your praises enough. Beautiful story.
You know what made me mad about that,
Beautiful
though?
story.
Some idiot would cancel it and claim, oh, well, production value is too high.
They'll do it like you know what'll happen? They'll do it the same way they did Middleman.
Yeah.
I hope not, because that, I feel like even with Paper Girls, I feel like that's a story that has not been told so much, from the concept of the coming of age girl, not necessarily being, the cute girl next door, but having a variety of different girls.
And I think the
And
argument.
how powerful they are and how important they are in telling each of their stories. With Princeless, to give you a little bit of a background, it's a girl of color. She's a princess, and she bucks against tradition. She says, I don't need a prince to save me. I'll save myself. I'll go on my own adventures. I'll have my own dragon, and I will save my sisters, because her sisters are all in different locations, trapped as, princesses want to do. So she sets out to save her sisters. So it's very much defining gender roles. It touches on racial roles too, and it's just an amazing story. Like,
And Jeremy made it for his daughter too, because he
yes,
wants her
because
to be able to see possible.
exactly, and he's a white male. His daughter is a black girl.
And he goes to a lot of cons, and I'm like this: if you ever go to a show, especially one on the East Coast, you see him, stop and talk to him, because the guy does need it.
And I just Skype talked with him here at Fantom, and I asked him, where do you get a lot of your situations and reactions? And he said straight out, I listen. I do more talking than I do listening. I'm paraphrasing him, who cares? But he says, I just listen to how my wife, because his wife is black, he's like, I just listen to how my wife interacts with her sister and her mother, and just listen to them, and knowing their story, being able to tell a story, and understanding that I can't fully flesh out this story properly because I don't live these lives, but I'm going to do it justice by listening and translating that into an amazing story. Because you got to tell an amazing story, but you still have to have that authenticity. And I think he touches on it very well for being a white man. I think it's very important. And if you meet him and talk to him, he's very much into it.
It's very good work, and that would be something to see, interesting to see visualized. So, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start kind of winding down. Before we pull our comic book picks for this week, We do want to tell you about one big event that we're going to be involved in this weekend, and that is Spartacon 2, and that's going to be held at the Blue Crabs Stadium in Waldorf, Maryland, if you're on the East Coast. It's going to be on Saturday and Sunday, the 13th and the 14th, and what is Spartacon? Basically, if you were a fan of the Spartacus show, which you can still find in full on Netflix, all 3 seasons, you know, if you're a fan of swords and sandals, this is your event. Come on out, support. It's a small show. It's for 2 days. You get a lot of panels. You get to see some gladiator matches, a little bit of everything. It's like a little taste of Rome. And initially, when I first saw the video, I said, why are they doing this in a stadium? And then you realize how appropriate.
It has to be. I mean, the Roman Coliseum.
Right.
You have to.
How you realize how appropriate the venue is. And I really had a nice time last year. And see, the thing I like about small shows like this is that you actually get to interact with the cast. And matter of fact, there's one picture that I will say, I will go on record, is a PCU exclusive, where we got some of the main cast members taking like this massive group photo with the fans. And I was blown to be able to take it, because I mean, most of the time when you go to some of these panels, you get a lot of the guests there. They don't even allow pictures. They don't allow recordings. There's so much things. There's so many things that they don't allow that you sneak into. I saw David. But this, no, I just said, guys, I just thought of an interesting picture. Can I get you with the crowd? Sure. They all lined up. Boom. And I'm going to see if I can get something to them. So if you want to know who's showing up, you got guys like Darren Ferengio, you got Dustin Clare, Manu, yeah, him, if he's not beating up anybody. That's my man, though. That's my man, though.
It's an amazing sling.
Stephen
Simmer down.
Right.
No.
So many more. If you want to see who's going to be there, just go to www.redserpents.com. Get your ticket and go. Support my friend Kelly Montgomery. She's been working hard to put this thing together. Go support. And on that note, let's do our books of the week. Do you know what your books are?
Yep, I can make this real quick. Deathstroke, The Return of Christopher Priest. You should check that out. This came out last week, but it's alright because it's Andrew Baker, so it's Killing and Kill.
Just in case you need something after his last run, huh?
And one of my favorite writers of all time, who was nice enough to give us a really great interview, Joe Keating, Ringside.
Yeah, that's his pick. Let me hold this pile over here. So these are the store picks for this week. All-Star Batman. So, hey, Scott Snyder is still going to be knocking out with that. Of course, Black Panther #5, which I'm sorry, like, wait a minute, didn't we just get 4 a couple weeks ago?
Hey,
I'm not complaining.
Not at all.
All right, then.
I'm going to buy this. This is nice.
Tell me what it is.
This is Jonathan Hickman's new book. This is called The
Black
Monday
Murderers.
Murders. I would tell you what it's about, but I don't know. You know why I didn't bother to find out? Because Jonathan Hickman wrote it. I was like, oh, it's the same guy who writes East to West. Same guy who wrote Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Same guy who wrote New Adventures. And it's the first issue. How about that? I'm putting it in my buy pile.
Okay. And March, book 3. Very important book about John Lewis and the reason why he is who he is. And as a matter of fact, excuse me, I need something to drink. Andrew Aiden will be in on this Sunday at Fantom here where we are tonight. And he'll be doing a signing. So I would say come in Sunday, pick up book 3, get it signed. If Congressman Lewis is around, get him to sign it too.
Yeah, he was
here for the first one. I met him, and it was amazing.
The first 2. It's not often we get to meet people like that.
Yeah.
At all.
I cried.
All right. My picks for this week is going to be the 30th anniversary of Labyrinth, and it's a variety book. That's about the best I can describe because it's various stories, various artists. It's a beautifully written and drawn book from what I've seen so far. Definitely getting this. Action Comics number 961. I'm really interested to see why this didn't get like that number 1 or that 93 just kind of like picked up on the numbers.
Because we're going for 1,000.
Yeah.
Action and Detective went back to the old numbering at the same time because they realized, gee, these are like 2 of the longest running books of all time.
Ever.
We might be missing out on money by not having an issue 1,000, seeing how nobody else will get this anywhere anytime soon.
Yep.
So why we go back to the old numbers?
So that
Money!
Yeah.
Money.
And the next to last, Darth Vader.
The penultimate issue.
Penultimate issue.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, one more. And I think I've been more liking this than I have the Star Wars run. I've liked them both.
There's no question.
I've liked them both because I like how both of them interconnect. It's almost like you can't read one without the other.
Mm-hmm.
But I've liked more with Vader because I felt like with Darth Vader, Kieran Gillen brought the menace back.
Okay.
He gave us that Darth Vader that we've been sorely missing out for. So, on that note, people, thank you all for joining in once again with us here at Fantom. Let me tell you where you can find us. Our website is
Popcultureuncovered.com.
And we're also on Twitter, PC Uncovered. We're also on Tumblr, Pop Culture Uncovered. We're also on Instagram. What else are we on? We're everywhere, aren't we?
Tumblr.
We're on all
Are you
the
on
things.
Snapchat?
Not yet.
We're not on Snapchat because we don't do that.
Yeah.
Yo, okay.
Besides Tumblr is like a den of iniquity.
Yeah. So much porn. So much porn. So on that note, we're going to be out, and next week we should be hearing from Armand and Manta as they bring us another episode of The Classified, the Harmony revamp, revitalized, because that's how we're doing it.
So shiny and chrome.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and we're doing the DC and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A wide sweeping conversation on why all those good things happen and why Suicide Squad is better than you think it is. And stay tuned because I'm a guest star in the Suicide Squad 2 when they run out of money for Will Smith. I'm a bald-headed dude for beard. Nothing.
Wait. I'm here too.
No. I waited my whole life. I was never good enough to look like LL. I was never good enough to be Idris. Will Smith, he's lost some hair.
Look,
He's bald-headed with beard. All I gotta do is stop eating pizza, and I'm good. I can get to the jumpsuits on the pocket.
Everybody say good night.
Good night.